When a learner activates prior knowledge, this means that the information that was stored in their long term memory gets retrieved and makes its way back into their working memory. And if teachers don't intentionally activate relevant prior knowledge or prompt their students to make connections based off what they already know, then it causes them to not be able to retain the information that is being presented to them, since they basically have nothing concrete to base it on. Like, they're just having a lot of information and a lot of facts thrown at them, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know they don't know how to store it in their memory if there's like not a foundation there set in place for them. And if students end up activating irrelevant or incorrect prior knowledge, then it will cause them to fall behind because they won't have those strong links that will help them make sense of the new information, since they need to be able to build on it in order to get that deep and rich understanding. And oftentimes this happens because teachers kind of misdirect their attention by telling them to make personal connections to the new information that is being presented to them. And this can be effective, but it just has to be very, very direct and intentional. Because if students spend all this time trying to find those deep and personal connections, and it's not even, and it doesn't relate back to what it is that they're learning, then all of that effort and all of that time spent will not help them understand or make connections at all. And so there's ways to avoid this, and this can be done um, when teachers gather like a questionnaire or present their class with a quiz in order to determine where their um, past knowledge, their background knowledge is at. And this is important to do because oftentimes teachers can also just focus on like a few students and make assumptions that the whole class is at their level, even when a lot of the times that's never the case. So, yes, collecting data to assess where kids are at is like the number one thing to do, along with helping them link relevant vocabulary between subjects, um, because it will help them make connections to those words and then kind of build a a hierarchy about why that word relates in that context, but also in a different context. And finally, I have learned from the previous lessons in our class that it's important to build on the knowledge that we already know, and that it's important for understanding. Like, that was very ingrained in here from like day one. But now I know what ways work best and why. And the pyramid example really helped me see how the mind is wired and what I can do to facilitate the learning process.